Who, if you were saying one of these two teams, all right, the Sacramento Kings have a 2-game lead on the Lakers. One of these two teams is going to be in the playoffs. LeBron James and the Lakers or De'Aaron Fox and the Sacramento Kings.
Let me tell you some words you haven't said in decades. The Kings and Lakers are fighting for a playoff spot.
Oh,
you didn't anticipate
Kings and Lakers
that.
fighting in the playoffs. I remember that era.
How about
I remember that era.
Right. How about
Yeah.
that? So, here's how I like to gauge success, and you know this, by realistic expectations. If the Sacramento Kings make this year's playoffs, they're going to throw a parade.
Parade.
Right? They added Harrison Barnes so they could go for it. They got Bagley in the lottery. Fox is balling. Hield is balling.
My guy Bogdanovich
is balling.
I understand all that.
Okay? They are committed to the franchise. They're invested. What I saw in Atlanta and what I see from the Lakers every other night is a splintered team. Yes, LeBron James has a rite of passage because he's an all-time great. But teams win in the NBA, and that does not look like a playoff team to me.
One thing I saw last night watching this game, and something I've seen from LeBron, the greatest player of all time, multiple times, is he's so good. And not only is he so good athletically, he's so intelligent. His basketball IQ is so high. He expects a lot from his teammates. And when he doesn't get what he expects from his teammates, he can pout a little bit. He can show a little bad body language. And he kind of lets you know that you weren't where you were supposed to be or you didn't make the right play. And I saw a lot of that last night as they were down.
Correct.
That gets a little stinky after a while.
So look back at the Indiana footage when he's at the end of the bench. Mm-hmm. Look at Lance not helping up a teammate when he falls down. Like, these are drippings of teams that now, okay, you have a big win in Boston.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. But they barely won that game.
They should not have won that game.
Okay, that was not the intended consequence.
There were two crazy loose balls that ended up in their favor at the end of that
Correct.
game.
And you know how karma caught up with them? When they went to Indiana. Okay? It caught up with them. Then they went to Philly and got beat down. This Laker team has struggled all year versus current playoff teams. All season. They have the 4th toughest remaining schedule in the NBA. I would love to see them make the playoffs. You know why? ESPN and ABC, guess what? We have the Western Conference playoffs. And you know what? I would love
good for
it to be Golden State and the Lakers in the first round. I would love it. But I just can't see it today.
Lakers fan, I think it's so important that they make the playoffs this year because you just don't want next year when they have whoever it is. They have LeBron plus whatever max players they have or player. You don't want this to be the first playoff experience for the supporting cast if they're still there.
People keep saying that. Why do you care about the experience of their young players when they're going to get traded?
You don't know they're going to be traded. You don't know that, Jalen. We thought they'd be traded a month ago or 2 weeks ago. They weren't. You don't know that, Jalen Rose. You really don't know that.
The long-term viability of the Lakers core has already been decided. That won't be it.
Jalen.
I wish I could say this in another language.
What don't you understand about this? What don't you understand about this? If Anthony Davis on July 1st at midnight gets traded to Boston, then they're going to have some of those players.
What did the Zubac trade show you?
That they didn't value Zubac as much as I felt they should have.
It showed me as an asset that they fostered, that came out of nowhere. They put it in the oven. They gave it all of this TLC. And all of a sudden, when you move him, that tells me that this young core is not what we're building on moving forward. That's what that shows me. They want an experienced team to play with LeBron James in his 17th season next year to try to win a chip next year.
You know what showed me that the young core isn't what they're building around is when they literally gave up every single one of their players for Anthony Davis in an offer. I mean, that was the indication right there. It wasn't necessarily the Zubac and Beasley trade.
I'm just saying, like, ultimately, the Lakers have created assets in that young talent. Luke Walton has done a great job of fostering them to improve. But the goal for them is to try to win a championship next year. So if they don't get Anthony Davis, guess what they're going to do? They're going to cash those chips on somebody else.
But they also have open spots, Jalen. They have open spots. They can just sign players.
Oh, Lakers got an open roster spot?
They can just sign players. No, I mean for this offseason. Why are you acting like you don't know what I'm talking about? They can sign max players without trading anybody in this offseason. So they could easily have all these young players next season, plus Kemba Walker or whoever. Easily.
And you'll still be fighting. If it's LeBron James, Kemba Walker, and the young core, you'll still be fighting the Sacramento Kings for a playoff spot.
It's not true. You know it's not true.
I do know that's true.
Today. I don't know what kind of crazy you're on today. You're just talking crazy.
I want the Lakers in the playoffs. It ain't personal. Magic is my idol. I played in college with Rob Pelinka. I want LeBron James in the playoffs. It ain't personal. I know their fans think, oh, he just hate the Lakers because Kobe scored 81. Magic was my favorite player growing up. I rooted for the Lakers. Norm Nixon was my first agent.
Can we end this?
Okay.
Can we end this by saying this? I want a 25 consecutive push-up bet about the Lakers making the playoffs on wax.
Not gonna be able to do it.
Oh, so guess what? You're also passionate, you're screaming, you're throwing your hands around, throwing all these hands around everywhere, but unafraid. Oh, okay, I got it. Is it because you can't do 25 push-ups or because you know that they're kind of gonna make the playoffs?
No. I want to bet dinner at
Nah.
our choice restaurant.
No.
That's what I want to bet.
No.